This is Daily Flash with your hosts, Andrea Jackson and Mitch English. Trending news and entertainment. This is Daily Flash.
Hi, everyone. I'm Andrea Jackson.
And I'm Matt Doolittle. Mitch English will be joining us a little later on here on the big show. So you guys know I'm a Disney fan. Literally, took this pen from Disney.
You love those pens.
These are the greatest pens. We had a waitress once at the California Grill, and I was talking about how much I don't know. I spend enough at Disney. I could take a pen every once in a while. She brought me a whole box of these things, so I just have them all over. They're great pens. But you folks that like to cut the lines at Disney, trying to say you got a anxiety or a little bit of a twitch going on, it ain't gonna happen. The new disability standards are kicking in at Walt Disney World this weekend in anticipation of heading towards Memorial Day weekend, and then in California they kick off in another month. But they're not messing around, and you need an appointment almost up to 30 days prior to you going, and it has to be a face-to-face interview with someone from Disney over Zoom or whatever, so that they can assess your situation. You have to have a doctor's note for this whole thing. They're not messing around with it.
Well, because let's face it, people have abused this privilege because the disability line gets you onto the rides immediately. Not only just you, but your entire group that you're with, sometimes up to 20 people.
So I didn't take advantage of this, but I was with a friend of my wife's when we went to Disneyland Paris, and she legitimately has she has diabetes, she's got to do the shots, she's had a blood clot, she legitimately has all this. And over there, you have to wear a badge saying you have a disability over there so they know if something's wrong with you. We got to go to the front line of everything at Disneyland Paris, sometimes a couple times. And I've done it here at the parks. I had a friend who had diabetes, he had the whole pump thing. So again, it was legit. I didn't walk in with like a bad knee or anything. And here it was 3 people in your party, up to 3 rides, and you kind of had to schedule it out. So it wasn't as easy as it was at Disneyland, but it's still cheaper than Disney Genie Plus or trying to get. Now, if they find out that you're violating this, say you're in a wheelchair and then all of a sudden you're dancing around like Mary Poppins, lifetime ban, which to me would be a death sentence. You might as well just take me out back, old Yeller me at that point, because
Here's my question though. How are you going to be banned? Like, how do they know? How do they know you're coming into the park?
They find you.
They find you.
Trust me. Disney,
I believe it.
Disney has an entire group of people. Their entire thing is following on social media. And you are getting facial recognized the minute you step on property. That's how, even if you have a ban, they will find you. Even if you pay with cash, they will find you and they will kick you off property. You will have a strong discussion with whatever sheriff's department decides to show up.
So from what I understand, your pass will last a little bit longer. It goes from 60 to 120 days, but there is a more rigorous process and you're limited to maybe 1 or 2 people that can accompany you in this special line.
It's not going to be your whole group. You're not bringing all 5, 6, 7 people with you on there. It's just them being honest. The people were taking advantage of this.
Of course.
And a lot of this stuff is because of all the social influencers got on there and blew up everybody's spot that had figured out how to work the system a little bit. You do pay a lot on these vacations, and if you can get a little extra for yourself, you're going to try to do it, but they're just blowing up those spots. It's insane.
Goodness. An irate customer at a Subway sandwich store lost it when he was refused extra meat on his sandwich. The customer claimed he had paid for the extra serving and then demanded the workers put 12 extra slices of ham on the sandwich instead of the 6 extra he'd actually paid for. The customer then walked around the counter, started punching the manager. Quick-thinking customer rushed to the worker's aid, pulled him away from the employee. The Good Samaritan struck the suspect in the face several times, allowing the workers to run to safety behind the counter. Look at that black eye, that poor lady.
That's horrible. And they're doing a job that nobody else really wants to do. They don't want to be sandwich artists. But look, $5 footlongs went from $5 to $14 real quick.
Well, that's inflation for you.
I just went to Subway and I was like, how much? And they were like, only $14.75. I was like, okay, for the same stuff.
I heard somebody say this morning, every time I leave the house, it costs me $100.
Yeah.
And that's about the truth, whether it's gas or groceries or both.
I saw an online video where this lady's like, how much is it for a day to live in New York? And she's like, from the minute I leave my house, it's already $15 before I get downstairs to this, to that.
Yeah.
It's nuts.
Goodness gracious. We're back right after this.
Attention Daily Flash fans. Ever dreamt of being part of the action? Now's your chance. Join our exclusive virtual audience and experience the show like never before. Get a special credit on the show. Interact with our fabulous hosts. Chat with producers. And guess what? Some lucky participants might even find themselves on a massive billboard in iconic locations like New York's Times Square, Los Angeles' Sunset Strip, Miami, or Atlanta. Don't miss out on this electrifying opportunity. Sign up now by heading over to Blyseal.com and be a star with the Daily Flash virtual audience.